How do you cite a book in APA 7th edition? APA referencing is one of the most common citation styles in academic writing. If you've been asked to use APA style in your work, you need to know how to cite sources correctly. Cite them wrong and you risk losing marks. First, let's look at basic citation and reference formats. Then I'll explain two key variations: how to cite a book with multiple authors, and then how to cite a republished book. APA referencing uses author date citations. This means that to cite a book in your writing, you give the author's surname and the year of publication in brackets separated by a comma. For example, to reference a first edition of Barry Downing's 1968 opus, The Bible and Flying Saucers, you would cite Downing as the name and 1968 as the date. If you've already named the author in the text though, you only need to give the publication date in brackets. Let's look at two examples. Some argue that aliens have influenced human history. Downing, 1968, in brackets separated by a comma. Or Downing, 1968, argues that aliens have influenced human history. If you're quoting from a book, you'll also need to give a page number as part of your citation. These typically follow the date inside the brackets. But if the author is already named in your text, give the page number after the quote. Let's look at the example. Modern UFOs sometimes exhibit a corona effect. Downing, 1968, page 40. If you were quoting from a page range, here's how. Downing, 1968, pp 96-97, all in brackets. And if you've already named the author in your text and you're quoting and need to include a page number, here's how. Downing, 1968, concedes that he doesn't have absolute proof that flying saucers exist. Page 12. Any book or other source that you cite in your work also needs a reference list entry. This requires the author's surname plus their initial or initials, the year of publication in brackets, the book's title and subtitle in italics and sentence case, the name of the publisher. You'll also need to include a 1/2-inch hanging indent for every line after the first. And if you're referencing an ebook, you'll need a DOI or stable URL at the end of your reference. Let's jump back to the examples. Downing, BH, 1968, The Bible and Flying Saucers, Did a UFO Part the Red Sea? Sphere Books. Jenkins, T, 2013, Of Flying Saucers and Social Scientists, a rereading of When Prophecy Fails and of Cognitive Dissonance, Palgrave Pivot, with the link to the DOI location of the book. Okay, so your in-text citation and reference list entry are sorted. What about the particulars of citing a book with multiple authors? If a book has two named authors, you'll need to include both names in the in-text citation and in the reference list entry. You do this by using an ampersand between the two surnames. Some claim that UFO sightings inspired religion. DeLong and Levander, 2017. And in the reference list, DeLong T and Levander P, 2017, Secret Machines, Gods, Simon & Schuster. For books with more than two authors, you should list the surname of the first author, followed by et al., the abbreviation for and others. But in your reference list, you should still include all of the named authors in the reference list entry. So, in-text citation, sightings have increased since 2008, Ripley et al., 2021. In the reference list, Ripley E, Dallas A, and Kane T, 2021, Xenomorphs, A Beginner's Guide, Nostromo Publishing. What about republished books? APA has some special rules for books with more than one edition. If this applies to the book that you're citing, you will need to include the year that the book was first published and the year that the version you have read was published. In practice, it looks like this. Some argue that aliens have influenced human history. Downing, 1968/2019. In the reference list, you should use the year of the new edition as the main date, but also include the original publication date at the end of the reference, which in practice looks like this. Downing BH 2019, The Bible and Flying Saucers, Did a UFO Part the Red Sea? Sphere Books, original work published in 1968. With any luck, you now feel much more confident citing a book in APA style. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Check the resources linked in the video description. There's plenty of APA guidance there. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel. I'm putting together an APA referencing playlist which covers all of the different facets of formatting, referencing, and working in APA style. Your writing, proof.